hello, and good time zone. And if you heard a squeak just now, it was my chair and nothing else. What is up, gamers? Hi, everyone. Welcome in. I don't know why I brought attention to the chair squeak. You probably didn't notice it at all, and I've ruined everything. Anyways, thank you so much for the lurk, Turnip. Welcome in. I hope you're having a lovely day. Hello, Joe. Hello, Leaky. Welcome in, friends. Hope you are well. Hope you're having the loveliest of lovely days. Happy Monday, y'all. Hope you had good weekends. How are you doing? I'm sorry to interrogate you so intensely right from the get-go. Maybe I should chillax a little bit. But I am absolutely over the moon to be here and chatting to you all. And hopefully painting with you all as well, because I do have art to work on. I have not worked on this at all since we streamed it last week. So, hello, this painting again. I'm looking forward to filling out some of these little instances of what I ended up deciding are little moments of Terry lore of some description. So that's what we're going to keep on keeping on with. Anywho, I've completely forgotten what I want to add to all of these pieces. I think, I want to, add more details to this little very European looking canal street, obviously. But what was I doing with this landscape? I don't remember. I'm gonna have to improvise something here. This little seascape, again, re-improvisation. This one I think is basically done. And I think want to add a little bit of just simple line weight and maybe darken down the background behind those books on this bookshelf. But it's not too many books, so it shouldn't take too long. Oh, by the way, you know what I did do? I did work on some art over the weekend. Would you look at that? It's bookshelves. I done some bookshelves because it's me, and of course I did. Anyways, I hope you are well. I hope you had good weekends. If I seem a little bit frazzled, I still need to stir my Milo. I made myself a Milo with oat milk just before we started. Leaky.
Oh hell yeah, Leaky just subscribed. A gentle, quiet resubscription, with no fanfare whatsoever, so Mike to dunk.
Thank you for the dunk! And thank you so much for the sub. It is so very, very much appreciated. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy your continuing use of subs and stuff. 10 months! That is, quite sincerely, almost a year. Thank you so very much indeed. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna put my volume up a little bit so I can hear when notifications come in. Actually, if I put it down, there we go. Volume level 69. Nice. Sam I to dunk to you too, TTS. Listen, Nicole is trying her best. She is a sweet little wombat, and considering the fact that she's mastered, human language and all, I am very impressed. But anyways. I had a little bit of, I won't go into details because, I don't want to dox too many personal things. But I had a little bit of a how shall I say, a disability reminder incident. Again, not to go too much into detail, but it just reminded me of, and it's not that big of a deal, like, I'm fine. But it's one of those things that every once in a while I'm reminded about the fact that one of the most exhausting things oftentimes about having any kind of disability, like, even like a fairly minor, minor issues, is constantly, every time you feel like you have to defend your need for, like, an accommodation for that, or, when, a needed accommodation isn't available, or there's, like, a threat that an accommodation is going to be taken away from you, and you have to be like, up. No. You need to sort this out because this is something that I need, actually. You can't do that. It's exhausting having to, like, advocate for yourself and have people who don't understand being like, oh, like, why? It's not a big deal. And it's like, you don't get to ask me that. It is something I require. That's as much as you need to know, bro, Like, constantly having to justify your existence. Exactly. Like, say, for instance, and sometimes it comes from To draw from an example that isn't something I'm currently dealing with. Um, let's say, for instance, you've been working in an office job and you have been working in like you had a private office or like a small space with maybe like 3 or 4 people, and they're moving you to a large open plan space that's, you know, like a big floor that has like a few dozen people all working in like rows of desks and that kind of thing. um and that kind of environment is really detrimental to, you know, like not just your ability to get stuff done effectively, but also just generally to like your mental health. Because let's say you have ADHD and you can't focus when there's noises going on around behind you and stuff that you can't see, and you can't tune out, or like the lights are way too bright in the room, or you know, it's just too chaotic. Hello Ernesto, welcome in and happy Monday. I'm having a bit of a rant, but then we'll get into actually painting stuff and talking about art, because I've got some things I want to talk about art as well. But yeah, that kind of situation where like, you know, you didn't have to raise the issue of I require this accommodation previously, because your accessibility needs were already being met by having been in a space that is, you know, like quiet and private and not full of distractions. They move you to a place that is loud and public and full of distractions, and suddenly it's like, okay, actually, I can't do this. Please correct this, you know? And it's just it's frustrating, and it's frustrating on a number of levels, I think. Certainly, like, requesting accommodations in the workplace, I always find a little bit, like, oof, scary. In part because if it's something that other people notice that you're being provided, they might start, like, probably not asking you directly, but asking amongst themselves, like, hey, how come they get, like, quiet space and we don't? Or how come they get to do this and I don't? Or whatever. And then they might think that it's unfair because they don't realize that you have like a, you know, an accessibility need, because maybe your disability is not visible, because a lot of disabilities are not. And you shouldn't have to like telegraph that or tell anyone what your disabilities are if you don't want to. And yeah, I find that so frustrating. But generally, even like in other situations, you know, like, I know that traveling can be a real minefield for anyone with like mobility issues. You know, imagine like having to, let's say you just need to go someplace on a train. Normally, you can just rock up to the station, buy a ticket, or have pre-booked a ticket and pick it up and then just, you know, hop on, right? But if you have any mobility issues, you might not know whether or not this is a train that, say, you can just, like, roll onto if you have a mobility device, without having to ring ahead and make sure that, like, the station staff know to have someone available to help you board and make sure that there will be space when you do board. And even then, sometimes they F up and you turn up and there's no one there and you can't get on the train because there's no one there to let you on. And you're just stranded. This has happened to people I know. It's just awful. Just awful. Anyways, Joe says open plan offices are held. They are a horrible idea. They are a horrible idea. Research has shown that no one, basically, okay, no, I don't want to say no one, because obviously there are always outliers and there are always people who have different needs. Some people might really appreciate like a really buzzing, bustling environment, but on the whole, most people do not. Most people want to be in, you know, like a fairly quiet enclave, maybe with like a couple of people who are relevant that they can speak to. That would certainly be my preference. If I, you know, like if I worked full-time in an office or whatever, I would be much happier either in a room by myself or in a room with like a couple other people who are people I might need to actually interact with on the regular as part of my work. Honestly, I feel like if you're the kind of person who likes a busy and bustling work environment, maybe, you know, probably like desk work might not actually be the right fit for you to begin with. Desk work should be quiet. Desk work should be a time to be quiet and focus on the things you're doing at your desk. There are other jobs that are more buzzy and bustling in that way. Like, say, like the restaurant industry tends to be quite, busy and movement oriented. You could work in the, you don't even have to know how to cook to work in the restaurant industry. You could wash dishes, you could manage. Like, there's all kinds of stuff you could do, and numerous other jobs that fit that bill really, really well. So, neurotypical extroverted straight white men, says Joe. Yup. I would go so far as to say, and the occasional white woman as well, because there are some CEO brained white women out there. You know them. I know them. They do exist, anyways. So I've had to write a sternly worded. I am asserting my need for this accommodation it is an accessibility need, and you have to fulfill it for me for reasons. Like just before stream. Just before stream is when I saw this message, and I was like, oh, I need to, got to get into advocating for myself mode, which is something I hate doing. Something I absolutely hate doing. And that's the thing, Joe. That would that would be in an open plan office. CEOs get their own space. That's the hilarious thing to me. It's like whenever you hear like a CEO
Attention.
being like,
Twitch user Sammy Kelch.
Sammy, and welcome in. You've come in just in time for I'm ranting about stuff. But hello, Raiders. Welcome, welcome. I saw that, Sammy Ann, I hope you don't mind, but I was lurking in the bushes in your stream earlier. Thank you for the raid. Sammy Ann was doing some very neat, video game related artwork. Feel free to, if you would like, as always, let us know what you were up to. And also, if there's anything you would like to share with the class, I would be more than happy to do so. You know it. Anyways, hello, Sammy, and it's lovely to see you, and welcome. And hello, Avery, as well. Thank you so much for the raid, Sammy Ann. Joe says, if you have further issues, request occupational health review. In my humble opinion, they're on your side. I'm on the fence about that, but let's not carry on for the moment. Let me shout out Sammy Ann. Hello. We were just talking about advocating for your accessibility needs when you have any kind of disability, and how much it just increases the amount of labor that you have to put in that people don't realize is part of the struggle of having a disability. Anyways, hi, it's lovely to see you. For anyone who's new here, I don't normally rant about disability on streams, but sometimes it be like that. I'm a watercolor artist primarily. I forget what my spiel is. Oh yeah, I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and most Thursdays. I do cozy game streams on Fridays and occasionally on a Thursday if I'm feeling extra crispy. This week we're probably not streaming on Thursday because I am hopefully they won't cancel it for a third time, getting some dental surgery done that is, well, it was urgent as of a month ago, so you can guess how I'm feeling right now. Anyways. But I will be streaming on Friday morning as usual, just in case you're curious. Anywho, we're working on, basically I just wanted to do a little sort of watercolor sketching exercise, and drew some random shapes onto a canvas, and then started adding pictures inside the shapes that I felt like fit in the shapes. And these are the pictures that are in the shapes so far. They're obviously not done yet. But I decided for some reason to put a little portrait of Terry the Forg Mage in here, so we have established that this is all little moments of Terry's lore, as it were. I guess just places he's been and things that are important to him. So, like books and tea. He's a cozy little buddy. Anywho. But that's what we're doing. Anyways. Ooh, we have art text from Sammy Ann. All right, sweet. Let's go take a little look-see at it. Let me see if I can pull up a linky-doo, if I may. But yeah, as for me, I'm a primarily watercolor artist working mostly in this medium, though I do occasionally play with other media. It's rare these days. I seem to be on a real just doing watercolor kick, but we'll come to that a little bit later, because I do also do acrylic inks from time to time, such as this bad boy, this is Red Earth, which is one of my favorite colors. It's so stinging pretty. Anyways, But there is a prompt list month coming up next month, and I have thoughts and feelings that I would like to share, and opinions on the state of art months. But first of all, this is a sticker sheet I will be looking out for if it were to become a sticker sheet, says Sammy Ann. Well, I mean, you know, I'm gonna have to be planning my holiday shop update at some time in the near future. So suggestions are always welcome, because I never know what people are gonna want if they don't tell me, and I'm real bad at guessing. Mr. Tom, hello, welcome in. How are you doing? It's Forg time. To be honest, he doesn't look much like himself yet, but that's because I haven't drawn in his face. But he will. Right now, he's just a pistachio, but he'll get there. Anyways, let me see if I can get this doodad to actually work correctly. We'll see. It's very not super effective these days. But I will attempt to. Yay! You can't see it. Hold up. Why aren't you showing Instagram? Oh, it was being annoyed because I have notifications, so there's a number in front of the word Instagram, so it wouldn't just automatically show you. Never mind. Anyways, here's me, and here's what my art looks like when it's done sometimes. This is a jackdaw that we painted a little while ago. They're in a bit of a cheeky mood because they're about to read all of these books, and I read so happy for this little jackdaw who had their favorite Deep Space Nine fan fictions bound into classy dark academia looking tomes so they could look fancy while reading. They're about their blorbos getting freaky in space. That's not semi-autobiographical at all. This is a piece that I painted actually before Silksong came out, but they had released a sprite sheet of they had released a Hornets sprite sheet, and I was so taken with this one sprite that I had to paint her like being a little Mary Poppins. And so that's how that happened. That is a limited edition print in my shop, by the way, if anyone is into that kind of thing. But more importantly than that, we've got some artwork from Sammy Ann to look at. Ah! Okay, I had not seen this. Hello. This is giving me so many feelings, because these are things I remember. These are things I remember well from when I was a youngin', because we had a NES, and I have played so much Mega Man. I have played so much Mega Man as an adult also, because it's just the business. And when I say I've played so much Mega Man as an adult, I mean like Mega Man 2 and 3, and those are the only ones I've played. They're so hard, but I love them so much. Anyways, this is so good. And the Punch-Out guy! And the tiny little... It's so good. This is so good. Sammy Ann's been doing some absolutely delightful video game-related stuff lately, and I'm just so here for it. This is absolutely adorable. I can't wait to see what it's like when you finish the full render. It's already so beautiful. And this is another in progress of the N64. This is a little bit after my time, but I do remember all of this stuff as well. Of course I do. Of course I do. Oh god, the blue shell of death and Banjo-Kazooie and the Star Fox guy. Amazing classic. And of course, the iconic Bond in the background. I love it. I love it. Sammy Ann says, I just bought the Mega Man bundle for Mega Man 2 and 3 specifically. Yes, they're so good. They're so good. Also, the music is, iconic. The Eye of Golden. You know, when I hear people waxing nostalgically about the GoldenEye game, it makes me feel so sad that I missed playing it in, like, its heyday when it was new, because it is so well loved. And just based on the kind of game it is, I know I would be absolute trash at it, and I don't know if playing it now for the first time would have the same meaning. But, oh man, I wish I could have been there for it. Does that make sense? Anyways, Sammy Ann is doing some amazing nostalgia pieces at the moment, and I am just living for it. They're so good. So please do check out Sammy Ann if you if you have not already, please do it. And yeah, anyways, Tom says GoldenEye does not play well these days. That's what I worry about. There's some things that are certified like classics, but that actually kind of aged like milk if you try and play them now. I've had a few experiences of that, of going back to games that I absolutely loved, and I'm like, oh no. Let me get another shout out for Sammy in the chat. And thank you again for the raid. I really do appreciate it. If you are not following Sammy Ann, I heartily recommend. She's delightful and does wonderful, whimsical work. It's not all video game stuff. Sometimes it is like fantasy art, like dragons and stuff as well. But it's all wonderful. Anywho. Mr. Tom says, hell, I was playing PC first-person shooter games at the time, so it didn't play well for me then either. Oh, beans. Sammy Ann says, as a PC FPS fan at the time, I wholeheartedly agreed. Fair enough. Leaky says, mostly games from the era before they decided the standard controls for things like jumping and shooting. Oof. When the muscle memory kicks in, but it kicks in for the wrong game, and you die. The worst. The absolute worstest. I'm not a fan. Anywho, but thank you again, very much appreciated. I'm gonna take a sip of my delicious, delicious Milo. I'm gonna think about what I want to paint next in this, because it's feeling pretty ding-dang incomplete at the moment. But it is also an improvisational journey. None of this was sketched out, and I didn't really have a plan for any of it when I just started painting things in, which is new and different and fun for me. I'm using the 1940 set again just because it's a good set of colors, and I like these paints, and it's just easy. It's just easy. It's sort of... the colors work for, like, any season, so they're working for me here. Anywho. Oh, no! Sammy Ann says, so much control mix up in my life for games, maybe real life too. I do. There are occasional times when, because the Xbox controller and the Nintendo controllers have the letters in different places. That used to throw me off when I first got my Switch, but I think I eventually got used to it. So yeah, I'm okay now, but at first I was like, no, I did it again. Anyways. When your friend's dog's name is Milo, these sentences feel weird. Oh, geez. Should I just call it, like, malted chocolate beverage? I could just call it, like, malted chocolate drink. I mean, it's effectively just a hot chocolate. I could just call it a hot chocolate, but it's like a hot chocolate that is flavored slightly differently and also has added vitamins, because they want to pretend that it's like a good, healthy drink for an active lifestyle, which it is not. It's hot chocolate that they've put like some calcium and vitamin B12 into, but still. Oh yeah, Sammy answers, and then PlayStation just said, similar commands as the Nintendo, but let's give it some shapes. I wonder if they wanted to differentiate. I almost wonder if they wanted to differentiate because they were worried if they used the exact same controls, like the X button and the A button, yada yada yada, are all in the same place. That like Nintendo might sue because they're like, that's our design or something like that. I don't know. So they were just like, let's make ourselves stand, or for like branding identity purposes, they wanted to stand out and be different. So they were like, okay, instead of like letters, let's do like square, circle, triangle, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know. Like, it, honestly, it's probably a little of column A and a little of column B, let's be real. Sam Ann says Nintendo has sued for less. Exactly. You know, like, big companies like this be litigious about that kind of thing. So if you feel like this proprietary, like, set of buttons and designations is something you did first, and someone else does the exact same, you could absolutely be like, excuse me, that's our IP. You can't do that. They've already put it into production or whatever. They now have to go and, like, change it or pay you a gazillion amounts of money and then change it, you know. I can see why you'd want to just go with shapes for the absolute avoidance of that, because that is annoying as hell. Anyways, I hope you are all well. Square, triangle, X, circle. Yep. You can tell that I've never been a PlayStation owner because I struggled to remember what shapes they were. We have an Xbox and I have a Switch. And that's it. Before I moved in with a partner who owned an Xbox, I just didn't have a games console, I think, since the SNES. I think the SNES was, like, the most modern game console I had until, like, the Xbox 360. There was a little bit of a gap for me. I did play some things on the PC, but, usually with mouse and keyboard, if I'm being honest. Anyways, so I was very familiar with, like, WASD. Anyways, Mr. Tom says, I don't know if it's still in place anymore, but Nintendo held the patent for the cross-shaped D-pad. Think NES and SNES. I know it well. That's why the PlayStation's D-pad was split into 4 pieces. Ah! So that certainly lends some credence to the we need this to be distinctive and different, not just for our own brand identity, but also so we don't get sued for copying. Absolutely. Sammy Ann says, we have a very non-common gaming setup. I married a collector. I was a pack rat, so yeah. That is so cool. That is so super cool. I love that for y'all. Very much I do. Right. Okay, I'm gonna do something that doesn't require any thought or imagination in the first instance, because I think that'll probably be the easiest thing for me to do. I'm gonna take some of this dark blue that's down here. I have my paint in a non-traditional location, which is extremely unsafe of me. So I'm gonna, and I have a little blobbit of paint that I just never moved out of the way that's still on my palette from the last painting that I did, which was this little Dracula. It's still not done yet, but mostly I was filling in the bookshelves. Which, to be honest, only took me, like, I don't know, like, I think I was working on this for about an hour. It wasn't that bad. Anyways, reusing, hell yeah. You know, if there's one thing that I don't love when I'm working with paints and stuff, is any time where I feel like paint is going to waste. Like, I have more paint on... like, if I'm using a tube of paint and I've blobbed more paint out of the tube than I absolutely need, and then I find myself in a situation where, like, I can't mash the remaining paint back into the tube, and I don't need any more of that paint, so it's like, well, what do I do with it now? I don't like wasting paint. It feels bad. That's money, man. That's monies. And also just resources. I don't like wasting resources. Anyways. That's all fine. That's part of why I generally prefer using, like, dry pans of watercolor to tubes anyways. Is that, I don't like wasting paint. It's also the reason that I always just have, like, a blob of neutral tint on here, because I bought a tube of neutral tint for some reason, I can't remember. But it's useful to have for many applications. So,
Samian Art cheered. X100. Woohoo. Paint is a precious resource. Here are a few bits to help get some more. Plus you are amazing.
Heck, you're amazing. Thank you so much for the 100 biddies. That is very, very much appreciated. I am incredibly grateful. Thank you, thank you. And you're right. It is good to make the most of our resources. We don't want to waste paint. You know, that being said, sometimes I'm like, sometimes I will, like, not use art supplies for fear of, like, oh, I don't know if my art's good enough to to merit using this paint color that I think is really pretty. You know, I don't want to waste this beautiful paint color on a bad painting. What if the painting I make with this paint is bad? Oh no, that's stupid. It's stupid. Just use the paint. But actually make as much use of it as you can. That's the difference. Anywho, I had things to say today. I had so many things to say. They've been bouncing around in my head all day. But I do have things to say. Anyways, but first, Literary Shoes, hi! It's lovely to see you! Literary Shoes says, hello, I know it's been forever since I've been here. I'm almost always working while you stream, but I happen to have today off, so I'm stopping in to say hi. Hello, it's wonderful to see you as well. I hope you've been well. It is so good to see you. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay. Almost done. I just felt like the back of the shelf needs to recede a little bit more, so I'm just popping a tender little glaze on it. There we go. That looks better. That looks better. I think that the bookies pop a little bit more. I'll give them some line weight and some detail as well, but we're going to keep it fairly loose. Cuz these pieces are supposed to be loose, and I'm trying to hold myself to that. But anyways, so here is a thing that I wanted to talk about because it was brought to my attention earlier today. And it's also something that I've been thinking about since yesterday. Thank you very much for the lurk, Sammy, and enjoy your meal. I hope it's a lovely, lovely lunch. If I didn't already say that, I already don't remember. My mind is a sieve, and things do not get held in it. Anywho. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So, October is in 2 days. October is a big month now, and it has been for many years for like various daily art prompt events, festivals, challenges, whatever you want to call it. I have been doing some form or other of a 31-day art thing in October every year since it turns out 2016, which is a long old time. I transitioned some years ago from doing like ink pen pieces with like a fine liner and doing all the little textures and stuff, in part because like repetitive strain, baby. I've always had bad joints and my wrists cannot handle doing that level of like meticulous cross hatching. So I do still do those pieces occasionally, but I do like one a month. I cannot do 31 in a month. I will injure myself. And that's part of what I wanted to talk about, because I saw some chatter on Blue Sky, and part of it started out pertaining to Inktober specifically, which I think was the first one to really do it, and how the official Inktober list, I feel like we've known this for many years, that the guy who originated the original Inktober list kind of sucks. Apparently he's been very protective of like the like brand identity of Inktober as being something that he owns, and here's the thing, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, in as much as if I created like an art month that was meant for like, you know, artists to just draw inspiration from and have a good time and whatever, and I found that, say, like, you know, like one of those book packaging publishing companies, you know, decided to just publish some generic like the Inktober book using the name that I'd come up with, that I was giving away for free, and that they were making money off of it, I'd be pissed, honestly. Like, I think that's fair. Unfortunately, some, like, you know, just independent artists got caught in the crosshairs of this, and that gets into, like, you know what, that's actually kind of going after people who are using the prompt list that you put out, who are just independent artists making art, is shitty. But in addition to that, and what's worse about this guy, is that apparently he did publish his own like Inktober book, but it was heavily plagiarized from another artist, which is, again, super uncool behavior. Like, don't do that. So anyways, the official Inktober list is not something that I've ever done. But I fully understand why people shy away from it. But there's so many other lists you can do now. What a surprise, says Leaky. I know, right? Ugh. Anyways, I am rolling my eyes. I can't animate that on the PNG tuber, but please imagine it. I gave myself a mild headache as a result. But so yeah. Anyways, but the other thing, like, this isn't the only 31-day art prompt challenge that happens over the month of October. There are so many now. There's Streaming, which is the one that I've done for the last several years. I think mainly as a featured streamer, and I'll get on to what the deal is with Streaming in just a minute. I'm also in the stream team. But there's also there's so many. There's Kinktober if you're feeling spicy and want to do things that you can't do on Twitch because of the TOS. There's Trektober if you're a Trekkie. This is in fact my entry for day 5 of Trektober, which for which the prompt is vampires. So if Dracula looks suspiciously Cardassian, that's why. Anyways. It's so stupid. I'm so excited. Anyways, but I'm not doing... That's the only Trektober prompt that I'm doing this year. But there's loads of them. There's millions that I don't know about because, like, I can't know about everything. I think different and then there's ones over different months as well. There's the Hollow Knight Art Month, which you'll be familiar with if you've watched any of my streams in the month of May. There's Mermaid, which is a list of, like, mermaid related prompts for mermaid related artwork. There's Avian August, which is bird pictures. I thought about doing that one, but I just didn't have time because I was away for 2 weeks. And I had other stuff. And as always, I find out about this stuff really late. This is one of the things that really frustrates me is that despite how many, like, channels and pathways and communities I try and make myself a part of as an artist, I'm always finding out about things too late. It's really annoying. You know, things like, oh, I would have loved to contribute to that zine had I known about it before they published it. Or, you know, like, oh, they were looking for freelance illustrators? Well, shucks. Constant. How many lists do I need to be on to find out about all this stuff? I don't know. Anyways, point being, there's a lot of these, you know, 30-day or 31-day art prompt things going around. There's also many months that I've known people who've hosted where it will be like one thing per week over the course of a month. But so you've got many choices. But here's a thing that I've been seeing, and what I was seeing a lot of discussion about, specifically today on Blue Sky, was people talking about how, oh, these events are toxic and I won't do them anymore because they're just a recipe for burnout. They are, like, you know, we're too productivity pilled these days, and this is not a sustainable way to work, yada, yada, yada. You know, like, it's toxic, it's setting unrealistic expectations, blah, blah, blah. And I think the problem with this is that I think, and I don't blame anyone who feels this way about them, because I totally get it. Because I've been at the end of a 31-day art prompt challenge and been like, I am so burnt out of making art that I need to take like a month of not making any art to recover from this. Which, when you do 2 art streams a week, is hard. And also, frankly, the October one is kind of really poorly placed for me as someone who is an artist who also, like, creates and sells artworks, because when you really want to be having your stuff ready for the holiday season, which is like the most marketingly, the time when people are most likely to buy stuff from you is November, December. So you need to have like a package of stuff ready to drop in November. And I never do, because I'm busy doing one painting a day on average every day in October, which is when I should be getting all this stuff ready and sending it off to the printers. So I never do. And maybe that's why I'm a failure. I don't know. But, anyways, let me catch up with chat and then I'll continue. Shuckstober, says Leaky. One request for artists that you missed every day throughout October. Ah! Heck. Literary Shoes says, I can see how someone might think that, but for someone like me who's been blocked for freaking ever, having prompts or guides are unbelievably handy. Although I write rather than do visual art. I think a lot, there are like writing prompt events as well. And I think a lot of them are kind of a crossover, like you can do either. Like I know Trektober, I think they also are like, you know, it's not just art, it's also Star Trek fan fictions. But I did one painting out of 31 and that's all I'm doing. Anyways. But yeah, I think the assertion that the purpose of these events is to, you know, to like burn you out and to be stressful. That's anathema to what the original intention is. And I don't know if a lot of these people coming into it maybe are younger or maybe haven't been online doing art as long as I have. So they're not familiar with what sort of the origins of the Inktober style challenge were from the get-go, which was, here is a month's worth of daily art prompts for you to just take, like, and implement, whether that's a pencil, a pen, a stylus, what have you. The guy who invented Inktober is also kind of snobby about you should be using ink for this and digital doesn't count, and we don't like that. In this house, we do not shame your artistic medium. Do what feels good to you. For me, it's watercolor, but it might be something different for you, and that's fine. I wish I could do digital. I'm crap at it. Anyways. But the idea at the outset of these, you know, daily art prompt challenges is just to do, you know, say the prompt is, I don't know, why can't I think of any words? The prompt is mountain. So you just do a drawing of a mountain in pen, make it real sketchy and loose, spend under 20 minutes on it, and, you know, post it online if you want to, but then just move on with your life. It is a means of, like Literary Shoes says, just giving you something to inspire you to create a thing every day. But also you should feel under no obligation to complete the challenge. If there's a day where you're like, my head hurts, I don't want to do anything, or this word doesn't speak to me, just don't do it. Just skip it. No one's grading you on this. It's not an exam. No one cares. You know? Unless you really, really want to, like, do the full marathon. If you don't, you don't have to. Like, it's fine. And I think a lot of people put pressure on themselves unnecessarily to complete it, but not just to complete it, but to complete it to like a professional standard. And that just isn't realistic. And I think part of that is very much sort of like comparison disease that plagues being an artist who exists online these days. Because like, I feel like less so amongst a lot of artists that I know and more so amongst like audiences that don't necessarily know things about art and mostly gauge whether art is good on whether it looks like it employed a lot of like technical skill and is like visually impressive rather than just like aesthetically appealing. You know, like when you see those viral videos from like content aggregator sites that are just like, you know, impressive. This artist, who they don't name and stole a video of, does like super hyper realistic pencil drawings. And it's like, that's a super hyper realistic pencil drawing. That took a lot of work to get to that level of skill. I can see that. That doesn't necessarily make it a better or more special or more important piece of art than, like, any of this stupid dumb shit that I do. It's just different. Um, but I think there's that aspect of it. And I think that does leak into this kind of thing. You have, for instance, in addition, you have the sketchbook trend of the last few years where people will post like sketchbook flip throughs, and they're using their sketchbooks, in my opinion, like a portfolio rather than like a sketchbook. Sketchbooks traditionally, and since the dawn of the sketchbook as a thing that artists use, is where you put your like ugly practice generally. It's not where you do like a fully rendered completed painting. It's where you draw a whole bunch of like scribbly hands to try and figure out how to draw this one specific hand pose that's vexing you, or where you just doodle random shapes just to kind of loosen up your hand before you start doing actual drawings for the day, that kind of thing. You don't see that when people do sketchbook tours generally. When people do sketchbook tours, they're showing you like their best work inside a book. And I think that sets up unrealistic expectations, and people put pressure on themselves as a result of it, you know? And I get that because the algorithm probably favors that stuff as well, because people who aren't artists see it and go like, ooh, that's really impressive. In some ways, social media is a disease. My artistic existence kind of owes itself to being able to share my work on social media, because if I simply existed as an artist locally, for instance, nothing, because I don't know how to make friends in person because I'm shy and neurodivergent, and I don't like going places and having to like socialize with people. And I used to do it when I was younger, and I can't do it anymore because I don't know. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of people I might see at Tesco. Anyways, my point is, this phenomenon I think does leak into the world of like 31-day art prompt challenges as well, because people 100% cheat. And I say this because I also cheat. If you think that like a 31-day art prompt challenge is I am sitting down on day one and sketching and, you know, like inking and painting and doing the full render of this full piece on day one and then posting it, that's almost never the case. For me, anyways. And I think for a lot of other people, usually the list is published in advance, and you are able to, you know, like look at it and stuff and plan ahead and sketch things out and maybe finish pieces ahead of time and then just post them, so you have buffer days so you don't have to be making art, you know, completed artworks every single day, because that's not feasible for most people's lives. And even then, when I've done art prompt months like these, I always do simplified versions of my art. Like, I'm not doing a full color piece like this, because I could not produce this in a day. I just can't. For streaming, I do single colors. I will take one color of acrylic ink and I will make a painting using just this color and using, you know, sort of different values of it to get the impression of different shades. It's like black and white, but it's brown and white. Anyways, or, you know, like ultramarine and white, or sap green and white, etc., etc. Anyways, and even then, it's like a push for me to get all that done. It really is. And that is me not doing like completed artworks with the complexity that I normally would do for my work. So, but when you see other people doing what looks like completed artworks every day for a 31-day prompt challenge, it feels like doing just like a sketch or a doodle isn't enough. It feels like you're supposed to be doing so much more than that. And I think that, plus, you know, sort of algorithmically, you don't necessarily, if you have like, say, an Instagram feed where you know, a lot of your audience is, you don't necessarily want to post a bunch of like doodles and sketches that people will probably not engage with as much, because they're used to seeing your completed pieces, and maybe the sketches you feel aren't as impressive, and therefore, you know, the algorithm punishes you for having work that didn't perform as well, doesn't show your next work to as many people, and it snowballs from there, and suddenly you're getting like 25% as much engagement as you used to, and you kind of rely on those engagement levels in order to say have people find your work and commission you, because that's how you get paid, yada yada yada. So that's problem, as well as just the, as much as we all tell ourselves and tell each other like not to compare yourselves to other people, when you have someone being like, here's today's sketch for Inktober, and they've posted something that looks like it would have taken you 60 hours to complete, and you're like, how is this a sketch? And you feel like you have to produce more and contribute more and do something that feels more as a result, because you're not living up to this imagined expectation that, frankly, someone else is lying about. Anyways, all of this is to say, I will be, when we come back from the break, I'm going to try and actually do some painting on this piece, but I also want to talk about Stream Ink, which is coming in a couple of days, and I am feeling some kind of ways about it, but we are about to run into a break. Q-Juice, thank you so much for the hydrate. I have been carrying on and on. And I'm very sorry about that, but every once in a while I have thoughts and feelings, and I have an audience, so you get to listen to them. Anyways, I'll be right back. Have a drink, have a stretch. I promise there is actually going to be painting happening on this stream at some point again. I'll see you very shortly. Have a nice break. Enjoy the BRB song and the BRB screen. I really need to update this at some point. Modernize it a bit, but we'll get there when we get to it. A BRB, everyone. Hey friends, I'm back. Sorry about the ads, but thank you for sticking around. If you did, hello again. And welcome back. So, yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Stream Ink is a thing that is happening. I don't actually know if anyone knows whether or not they made, like, a social media post about it. I don't know. They did put the prompt list in the Stream Ink Discord, but basically Stream Ink has been running like maybe 4 or 5 years, I don't know. Anyways, and I think I've been involved in all but like the first year of it, but it's been one of these 31-day art prompt list challenge doodads, wherein each word has been provided by a different art streamer from within like the sort of Twitch art stream community, and then they, like, that streamer will have like their sort of featured streamer day as the day where their prompt word is the prompt for the day, and we celebrate that artist on that day. It was a really sweet, nice time. But the people who've been like the mods for this event for the last some odd years have all retired from streaming now and are off doing other stuff with their lives, or at least really aren't on here very much anymore at all. So they've decided to retire the event in its current form as well. I hope that something, and I can absolutely see the amount of labor that went into running and organizing this event as opposed to like a standard prompt list event, which is already a reasonable amount of work for the person organizing and running it. I can see wanting to step away from that because of the amount of work that goes into it, considering you're not just having to be like, okay, here's a list, have at it, trawl through the tags every couple of days and share the pieces to like your Instagram story or whatever. It is creating like graphics for every single artist, for every single prompt word, and making posts about every featured artist, as well as sharing people's artworks and all of the other oh, quiet. Sorry if you can hear the alarm. I hope it goes away in a minute. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Hold up. Maybe can I mask it with, okay, never mind. I was gonna put on the technical difficulties screen because there's music and I was hoping it would cover it up, but anyways, doesn't matter. I fully support their decision to like stop running the event because of the amount of work. I am sure that has gone into running it over this however many years. Um, so this year is we're on fire, says Stels. We're fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Coming out of this teapot spout, that is not smoke. It is steam. We're okay. I promise we're okay. Oh no. Anyways, right. What was I saying? Yes. Okay. So, so prompt list stuff. So for this year, because things are winding down, this is the last year that it's going to be run by this group of people. It's just like a lower stakes, lower stress event where instead of doing all of the featured streamers and graphics and all that jazz, they just solicited prompt words from people in the Discord, put together a list, published the list, and I assume we'll be sharing works that people hashtag if they post them to socials. And that's it. But okay, so here's where I come in. I am not completing the list this year. This is the first year since I started doing it that I'm not completing the list. And it makes me feel really bad because it's also the last year this is running and I really wanted to kind of see it out with like, sort of a last hour. I can't do it. Like, number one, I am tired. Number two, I've got other stuff that I really need to be focusing on right now. And number three, since the list was published like yesterday and September starts on Wednesday, and I'm having dental surgery on Thursday morning and might be out of commission for a few days of doing much of anything as a result. There's not enough time for me to plan for this. In pretty much every previous iteration of this, I've at least had a chance to like sketch things out. And even then, like, most of the works that I'm completing are much simpler than like a completed painting. But not really having time to like plan ahead and brainstorm. And also just my general like headspace is kind of at the moment. I'm feeling it a lot. Things are stressful at the moment because of reasons. And they did try and set like a theme for this set's prompt words, and a lot of them, okay, so here's the I could conceivably have done, say, I'm just gonna knock out, like just a stupid little just legit a stupid little like terrible drawing time style doodle in 5 minutes or less for each of these days. But a lot of the words are very conceptual, and normally I do like a prompt list that's a balance between sort of like very, sort of tangible words, say like cow, or I don't know, like book or hay bale, with more conceptual words like whether it's just like a texture like fuzzy, or just a concept like, sort of silence or confusion, and how do you interpret that. But I can't do a 5-minute doodle of silence. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with some of those words as a result. And also because the a lot of the theming is around sort of like endings and decay. A lot of the words feel really sad to me, and I don't know, if I'm gonna make like depression art, it needs to come from here. It needs to be self-directed. Um, if I were to make depression art, and I have made, I'm working through some feelings, mental health art before, and sometimes it's very cathartic, and I think sometimes it's also cathartic for some like lookers of at the artwork as well. So it has its place. And I do like to do it sometimes when I'm in the headspace where I need to do something like that. But it needs to come from within. It can't be like someone has given me a prompt that somehow makes me feel some kind of mental health, That doesn't work. And that's just like the vibe that I got from some of the words, and it felt like I'm going to feel stressed and not great if I try and complete this. So I'm gonna not. And I feel really bad about it. Tells um tells us all fair points. You gotta do what you can do and take care of yourself. Wholeheartedly agree. That's another point of the prompt list thing. You should never feel pressure to complete all 31 days of a 31-day prompt list. You literally don't have to do any of them. It's for fun and for free. If you just want to opt out and not do it because you don't think that you want to or you're not going to have time, you can just not do it. You can just choose to not do it. That was another thing actually about the Stream Inc. event, is that I think, the intention was in part, sort of like community building and stuff, but there were always at least like a couple of artists who, and I understand, like, we've all got time constraints, but some of them would literally just do art for like their prompt day and then dip. And that wasn't really the spirit of it. Like, like, it's fine, you're busy, you can only commit to doing this one piece, then that's cool. But like, again, I don't think that was really in the spirit of being part of sort of a communal activity like this. Like, you shouldn't feel expected to do all of them. And I think most people don't. And most people didn't. I did, because I'm insane. But I did try and manage my expectations about what I could actually achieve, that being said. Anyways. I'm taking a sip of my lemon tea. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do the whole list this year, and the fact that it's the last one and that I'm going to attempt to do some of them. I am going to attempt to do some of them, but I'm not going to be able to do most of them. Does make me feel a little bit sad. Because I am going to miss it. I think it was a fun event. And, yeah. I don't know, maybe it's good having my Octobers back, but I also really appreciated having, like, the community that arose from that, because the number of, like, streamers that I met as a consequence of this event being a thing was, like, incredible and so nice. And, I'm worried that I'm gonna struggle to find new people carrying on from that. I don't know. Maybe that's a silly concern. I just don't know. I'm adding some deeper blue to this water. This is water, by the way, just in case you were wondering. This is water. There we go. All right. I've given the water some weird dimension. Does it work? Who knows? Who cares? Doesn't matter. It's all good. Tells his BRB heading to drawing. Terrible drawing time to request silence. I actually did, you say that, but I actually had an idea of what I would do if I had to do silence, and it's so niche and so stupid that I don't want to do it because I don't think anyone else would find it funny other than me. Unless you also did a degree that in some way butted up against 20th century philosophy, I guess. I won't say what it is, just in case. Anywho, but that's too niche. That's so niche. It's too niche. Anyways. Oh, actually, I have a second idea. Oh, man. I have two ideas. No, I don't know which one I do. Uh-oh, I'm being inspired. Oh, no. Silence makes me think of Doctor Who. Ooh, that's a good one, too. That's a good one, too. Oh, that's not what I thought of. I don't know why my brain went where it did. Okay. Well, I've added some water to this, and I think it looks slightly better. Obviously, these pieces are all, like, deeply unfinished, which is why they look like this. I wanted to do a little river situation over here, going into some what have yous. But I also wanna okay, I wanted to do some maybe like more autumnal looking trees, but I don't think I want to. I don't know if I want to put autumnal trees here. If I want to put autumnal trees here, because I think that it works with the couleurs happening in these weird hills. But I forget what I was gonna do with these weird hills. Um, so that's a big bowl of oh no. Literary Shoe says you've inspired me to finally transcribe the draft of the 10-minute play I'm writing onto my computer. So thank you for that. Hell yeah, you can do it. That's awesome. That's super rad. Oh man, nice. I feel very proud of what I have inspired you to achieve. That's awesome. Okay. Uh how shall I tree here? I think what I maybe trying to think of the best way to do this little scene with these hills, and I think I might just like okay, I'm gonna just steal some neutral tint, and I think I accidentally got a little bit of blue into this neutral tint, and that's not necessarily the worst thing here, because I'm gonna be laying it on top of this sort of slightly yellowed hill here, and I think what I want to do is first water it down a little bit so it's not too heavy, but I'm just gonna add some like texture in here. I think I'm just gonna add some like, I don't know, rocky mountainous texture happening back here. Thus, if it looks a little too heavy, it's probably because I goofed. That's fine. These are all... Oh, that's the thing about improvising in this way, is that I genuinely don't know how any of this is going to turn out. I'm just kind of goofing. And seeing how it looks, and whether or not I like it, and I might not, and that's fine. But just giving it some texture. Seeing how I feel. Just a little sort of cragglies. Shapes. And whatnot. Especially whatnot. Whatnot is the most important bit. Then, we're not done yet. I'm going to take a tiny, tiny amount of green. Just like a hair's breadth. Just a little breathy little whisper of green. Just going to whisper it along the edge, the top edge of this hill. It wants to be distant, it wants to recede, it wants to not be too crazy, and some of this is going to get covered up anyways, because I think I'm going to pop some trees onto the sort of the space in front of it, though I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with that. I don't know. My moderator / spouse wants to know if we need anything from the shops. I'm going to say maybe milk. But no worries. Because we are hopefully putting it in order tonight. I need a pint of milk, says Tals. Okay, well I did let him know milk, so skimmed, semi-skimmed, or whole milk. Which one is your preference? Let me know. Whisper of green back there. And then can I feel like some of these textures are a little bit full on. I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to just shade over this whole thing with a little more color. So maybe what if I pull up some of this yellow, just add a little bit of weird gray to it, and then we just glaze over the whole thing with it. We can kind of still see the gubbins that's going on in the background, but it's Not so much. Not so much. There we go. Okay. All right. This looks bad. It's bad right now, and that's okay, because it's not done. It's in the ugly duckling stage, and it will improve. Hopefully. Anyways, I'm gonna leave that horrible, ugly rectangle for now. Just let it dry out or something, and we'll work on something else. I need to figure out what I want to be doing with this. I think I want to put, like, maybe just sort of like some rows of trees in the background. And the best way to shorthand some rows of trees, I feel like, and I think I am gonna do some autumnal looking trees here. I don't know how well this is gonna work. But I just feel like it's the season, it's the time to be doing some rows of autumnal trees. So I'm just gonna take some nice faint amounts of orange. And then also some other related colors, maybe a little bit of red. Maybe some red, but can I like relax that red down just a little bit? Can I add a little bit of green to that to make it a little bit, just a little bit less crazy? Well, I'm gonna have to sit completely still. Well, for one thing, Mira has placed a wombat on my head, and I don't want her to fall off. So thank you very much, Mira, for that, and thank you very much also for summoning the rustic dance and our gnome husbands. Thank you for the stickies. Very much appreciated. Tee-hee. Tee-hee. Delightful. Thank you also for the hydrate. Let me take... Okay, now I can sip my tea. I do have this Marks & Spencer's iced lemon tea, which is my favorite commercially available iced tea. It's delicious. It tastes like lemon and tea, my favorite. Mmm. Delish. Okie dokie. Adding in some red foliage here and there. And then we'll pop in some brown as well here and there. And that's just going to be a tiny little, and then we'll add some extremely tiny little, what's it? You know? What are words? Anyways, also hello Mira, I hope you are well, it's lovely to see you. You know? Nope. Not. Trunks. Tree trunks. That's the word I was looking for. I bet it smells incredible, says Literary Shoes. I have several candles that smell like lemon and tea because I love the scent so much. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Lemon and tea is such a solid, smell combination and a solid flavor combination as well. Okay. What if I just did the... Oh, that's green. That's not what I want. That's too... Okay, I was trying to make brown, but then I added too much. Now it's red. Oh, this is gonna take forever. If I add a little bit of you. Are you brown yet? Now you're purple. Add more orange. Is it brown yet? Good old color theory. Just mash every color together until you get some semblance of a brownness, and then you can call it a day. Do 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 do. Okay, I have some rows of trees. Do they look good? No, they look like tiny little pointless blobbits. They look terrible. But through the magic of adding tiny little tree trunks to them, they'll start to look like tiny little trees. Or at least that's the idea, that's the intention. Will it work? Let's find out. Okay, and I'm just making what I like to call, it's kind of a very dark brown. I don't know. And then we can just add in some little chunky doos. Oh, this looks so stupid. This looks so stupid. They're too tiny. Oh no. Oh no. I hate it here. Uh-oh. Maybe I should just put sticks and not worry about giving them too much additional detail. Maybe that'll look, actually, you know what? That looks better. I wish I'd done that from the get-go. Uh-oh. Never mind. Sometimes you just gotta trust the process, and sometimes the process betrays you, but that's okay. We have a row of stupid little trees. And you know what? I'm cool with that. I think they're fun. Anywho, but that is just the beginning for this piece. We're nowhere near done it. So it'll get hopefully more interesting as we go on. My moderator / spouse purchased milk. Yay. What was tea? He wants to know what dinner was. Let me just quickly let him know. Sorry, everyone. It was... It was Hungarian words that my autocorrect does not recognize, called kapostás tészta, which is a very delicious dish made of cabbage and noodles, and it's one of my very favorites. Kapostás, cabbage, tészta, noodles. That's your Hungarian lesson for the day. Don't ask me to speak Hungarian on stream because I literally only know words for food, a couple of pleasantries, and happy birthday. Also, my vocabulary comes entirely from people who emigrated from Hungary in the 1950s. So it's also, I probably speak it like an incredibly old person who's never been on the internet. So there's also that. Oh boy, if I ever tried to get by in Hungary with my Hungarian, people would be like, why are you speaking medieval Hungarian? It would be so bad. But it's like, I can sing a little folk song about a shepherd? Would that be helpful? Probably not. Anyways, I won't bother you guys by singing the Bunda song, but just know that it's currently playing in my head now. And it's delightful, actually. Yeah, it is very much playing in my head now. Yay. Anyways, sorry about that. That's my point. I am sorry that I'm not doing the whole stream ink list this year. I hope no one's mad. I hope nobody minds. I hope it's okay. Ooh! Y'all, I just had a really good idea for the foreground of this piece. Yes! I just had a really good idea for the foreground of this piece! Oh my goodness. Okay, oh man, it's not that big of a deal. I don't know why I'm so excited about it, but I think it's gonna... Actually, oh, no. What if I do... Oh. No, I've had a really good idea for the foreground of this piece. I'm transferring it, but it's good. Hold up. Hold up. When you see it, you'll be like, okay, yeah, that's nice. and that's it. Because it's not that exciting. I'm just I'm just an excitable little creature sometimes, and I've excited myself about that. Okay. Okay. All right. I think I've figured out how I want to do it. Okay. I'm gonna just get that excess water off of the ferrule. I'm gonna see how concentrated is this paint. I think it's fine. I'm just gonna pop some little woody shrubbies in the foreground here. There's just one here. Because why? I don't know. I think it's cute. I think it'll be cute. Is it cute? I don't know, but hopefully it'll be cute. Should I make him? Actually, you know what? I should make him bigger. I should make him bigger. This should be bigger. This should take up more. It needs to take up more space, actually. What was I thinking? It needs to take up way more space. Yeah, no, I was right. It definitely needed to take up more space. Good. Okay, awesome. I'll add in some grassy texture up here as well. I don't know. Is this working? This is the this is the thing about just going in without a sketch. Just what was it? Oh man, what was it that in a very official workplace setting, someone recently said, now what they meant was that they didn't have the PowerPoint presentation they were going to demonstrate at this like at this like seminar. So it's just like, well, I guess we're going to need to freeball it. And I'm like, I don't think that means what you think it means. I don't think you should be doing that in like a seminar setting. I don't think you know what that means. Tals has posted an emote of a very distressed looking bee in the chat. TMI, to be honest. Right? Right? Like, buddy, bruh, I don't need to know whether or not you're doing that. No! Why would you say that? I think I must be the most online person of all of the people in that seminar, because I was like, oh, no. It was terrible. It was terrible and a really bad time for me, actually. But never mind. So it goes. People need to relearn the concept of words meaning things. I see a lot of, I mean, you know I've ranted about some words like staycation and people not knowing what they mean, but like, oh, do you not? No.
Attention.
Anyways,
Twitch user Sammy
hello.
Kelch.
Choppers.
Hello, Raiders. Welcome on in. Feldy, thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream? It is wonderful to see you, and welcome in. Let me get a shout out for you in the chat. What were you up to today? It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. There we go. Got a shout in the chat. If you're not following Feldy, you can go do that right there. Anyways, hello everyone, and welcome. For those who've just come in on the raid, hi! My name is Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and Thursdays. I do most Thursdays, rather. I do cozy game streams on Fridays and occasionally on Thursday if I'm feeling extra crispy. We're working on some just like little extremely improvised, extremely unpolished watercolor sketches, and it's going very slowly because I'm indecisive. But we're having hopefully a nice time. Stream was good, says Feldy. We animated in Blender. Nice. That is a skill that I am very, it's wizardry to me. Blender's amazing, and I don't know how to use it, and I'm very impressed by people who do. As always, we are an art tax optional stream here. If there's anything that you would like to share with the class, you're very welcome to whisper a link into my DMs, and I'd be very happy to share it. If you just want to chill, dip, whatever, it's all good too. You don't have to. It is entirely up to you. But if you do, I'd be very happy to share. Anywho, in the meantime, Designed by Keys says, hello, 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 friend. Welcome in. I hope you are having a lovely, lovely Monday. I do hope that you are well. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. By way of introduction also, I'm a watercolor artist. I work primarily in traditional media, doing watercolors and similar media. I do other things occasionally, like lino cut prints and that kind of thing. If you would like to see what my work sometimes looks like when it's done, here's a painting. If I can get, man, it never wants to hold up, bear with. Here's a painting that I did a little while back of one of my favorite, architecturally speaking at least, tube stations in London. That is Park Royal in sort of the west side of the city. What else have I painted? I painted some plovers a while back, and I posted them for Plover Appreciation Day, which was a couple weeks ago. So here's just a ton of birds. As you do. I love them all. Incidentally, the New Zealand Bird of the Year competition just wrapped up, and I believe a falcon won, which is cool. Good for them. Very happy for them. I voted for the shore plover, of course, but never mind. Anyways, fun fact: I do the textures to my 3D stuff in traditional media. Feldy, that's super cool. Hell yeah, I love that. Love a good mixed media situation. That is really cool. And thank you again for the raid. Very, very much appreciated. Let me... And again, if you do want to share anything, you can, by all means, feel free to whisper a link, but no pressure, of course. But regardless, here is an additional shout out for Feldy, and thank you again very much for the raid, and welcome into all of your little friends. It looks like a little paper craft. Hell yeah, that's rad. Anywho, but yes, thank you again. Where was I? I'm having trouble breathing, but that's nothing out of the ordinary. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. My paints were resting on my tea, so I've had to move my paints, and now I've sipped my tea. I'm going to sip again, just for good measure, and now I'll put my paints back. Anyways, thank you for the shout out. Thank you for the raid. Thank you. So the backstory of this piece, for anyone who's come in since I vaguely explained it, I think, at the top of stream. So this started out as just sort of like an exercise in little, like, very improvised watercolor sketches that I'm making my way towards being done. They're all very loose, I wanted to do something that was fairly loose and unplanned. So I basically took this sheet, drew a bunch of shapes, filled it with shapes, and then decided what I wanted to paint inside the shapes rather than the other way around, which is why it's kind of a mishmash of little bits. But I decided eventually that Terry, who is the eventual frog in the middle here, Terry the Forg Mage, is a friend of the stream. I will pop a Terry emote in the chat so you can see of whomst I am speaking. If I can get my emotes thingy to let my emotes thingy isn't loading. Hold up. Terry the Forg Mage is a friend of the channel, who looks like this. If you can see emotes, there's a little Terry drinking a cup of tea. As long as you don't accidentally drink your paint water. I get around this by my paint water being in like a 35mm film canister, so it looks very, very different to my mug. I also have a bottle of tea because I can't have just one beverage at a time. That's crazy. This is Marks and Spencer's lemon iced tea, not sponsored, but like if M&S wanted to sponsor my stream and send me a bunch of free iced tea, I'd be super into that, and I would endorse the hell out of this product. Just so you know. Like Marks and Spencer's, hit me up. I'd be into that. Anyways. But yeah, Terry is a friend of the channel. He lives in the Enchanted Forest, and he likes going off on lots of little adventures. And so once I decided that I wanted to put a little Terry in this piece, I'm like, these are all little moments in Terry lore. Like, this is, you know, sort of a deep bit of the enchanted forest. This is his nice cup of tea. This is a time that he went to the city. This is a time that he went to the beach. You know, this is a cabin he visited one time. All that jazz. He likes books. He famously likes books. So yeah, there's a lot of Terry lore going on here. But it's a fun time. I'm having fun doing it. So what was I gonna paint next? So I popped some little shrubbies in the foreground of this, and what I wanted to do with that, I should probably wait until they're like for sure fully dry, because I'm not sure they are yet. But what I can do in the meantime is maybe pick up a little bit of you, a little bit of this, just kind of mix some of the paints together on my thingy until I feel like I have an appropriate shade of grass, and then I'm just gonna pop some little grass texture. Don't we all? Books are ace, says Joe. Hell yeah. As a fellow book enjoyer, I could not agree more. Okay, it would help if the paint actually showed up. And I'm just adding some little grass textures here and there, because grass textures are fun. With that being said, now that I've started drawing in some little grass textures, I'm like, oh, it might be nice. It would be nice to add some additional little shrubs a little bit closer to that little house. And now I'm regretting that I've just done grass all over the place and I didn't give myself space to put some extra shrubbies. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to do some additional shrubbies up there. I'm gonna take a little bit of this, and I'm gonna add some orange to it. Just neutralize it a smidge. And then I'm just going to go ahead and attempt to add some little shrubs back here anyways. I think I might need a slightly thicker lick of paint for this actually. But I can attempt to do that anyways. But yeah, actually, there's a question for the chat. Is anyone else considering doing any, like, October-based challenges? Are you planning to attempt to complete the whole thing if you are? Or will you be just kind of dipping in and out? Or are you just giving that a miss this year? Is it something that you've never done and probably wouldn't consider? Let me know. Because I'm nosy. All right. Okay, this is starting to feel like there's... Feldy, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome on in. Not this time, says Feldy. I've got a game jam halfway through the month I want to participate in. Ooh, yeah, that's definitely going to be... that's definitely going to take up some time. If you had been... I think attempting to do both would be definitely folly. So that's a good call to just not do that then. Hell yeah. I did talk about it earlier, but I am doing the Stream Ink list this year. But when I say doing the Stream Ink list this year, I'm doing like between 5 and 10 prompts out of the Stream Ink list this year. And that's it. Just cause I don't have it in me to do the full month. This is the first October where I'm not doing an entire month's worth of artworks in since like 2016, and I feel kind of funny about it because of that, but it's the right call for me right now. I've got other stuff that I really ought to be focused on, so I'm going to be focused on that. And that's it. Okay. Some of these bushes look like rocks, and that's okay too. I don't know what they are. But Okay, I'll keep tinkering away with that. But I want to add something to this piece because this piece is looking really incomplete. Because it's incomplete. Tal says, Hollow Knight Art Month is the only challenge I've taken part in and not even close to trying at all. I have somehow completed, what is it, 3 Hollow Knight Art Months or 2 Hollow Knight Art Months? I don't know. But two or three Hollow Knight Art Months. I also have limited edition prints of that. Oh, wait a second. There's a link to the shop in the chat. If you want to see the limited edition Blue Raspberry Fight Milk Hollow Knight art prints that I have available, you can do that there. But no pressure, obviously. I'm just happy you're here. Anywho. But yeah. I think I just feel like this year I can't do it. I've got other stuff that I really want to be getting on with, and I think if I tried to do justice to all of these words, and some of the words I just don't know what to do with. A lot of them I don't feel like I could do them justice in my art style. Like, I think other people are going to do amazing things with them, and I don't feel like I could do them justice in my art style. And if I feel like I can't do something justice in my art style, is my time not potentially better spent working on things that I actually want to get on with anyways? I don't want to find myself trying to do, like, doing a full month of things out of obligation and being frustrated because there's other stuff that I really need to get done that I don't have time to do because I'm doing this. That's not a good way to live. So, I'm going to work on the things that I actually do, like, need to do. And yeah. Anyways. Okay. I don't know what I want to do. I don't remember what my intention was with this bit of hills. I wish I could remember what my intentions were for it. Because I don't. I super do not. And it's frustrating now because I'm like, I don't know what I wanted to do with this little set of hillocks or whatever. So I think I might just start putting some trees. I think I might just start putting some trees and hope that I meant to put trees in it and that they look okay. That's about it. And I think they will be sort of autumnal trees if I can. So I'm going to pull back some orange for starters. What the hell was that? Oh no. Shoot. Well, my camera's kicked the bucket. Hold steady, everybody. We're gonna sort it out, but my camera is having a moment. So, just give me a moment while I unruin it. Okay. Please and thank you. Hello. Hello. I might need to just refresh for a second. We're back. Yay! Alright, thank you for bearing with. Hopefully you'll be able to see the camera again. Say goodbye to the technical difficulties music! Hello! Hopefully I am once again in motion. Am I in motion? Yeah, I'm in motion! Hello. Anyways, thank you for bearing with. And I have returned. Hello. But yes. Okie dokie. I've pulled up some orange, but I think I'm gonna do like a yellowy orange for this. I think that would maybe look nice. And I want it to have a little more opacity, I think. Okay, where do I put? Where am I going to put... Oh, God, the pressure, the absolute absence of pressure. Why am I putting pressure on myself? This is not that important. And yet, I'm just like, ugh. But I want it to look... The difference is I want it to look nice. So, you know, I'm just... okay. Oh, I'm putting off actually putting the paint down for so long. This is so stupid. Okay, you know what? I just drew random shapes for the start of this, and now that it's kind of filling out, I'm getting more like nervous about adding things to it. It literally doesn't matter. Literally nothing about this matters. It's fine. Can just make a little blob. And that'll be the top of a tree. It's fine. I think I want to round it out a little bit more. Just make it kind of poofy. It's okay if we can see a little bit of the hill behind it, because, you know, you can see through you can't see through a physical leaf normally, but, like, you know, there's gaps in the foliage. It's fine. It's fine. We don't need to worry about it. It's fine. Gonna maybe take some more yellow. And then add just a shade of green. Just the tiniest shade of green to it. Like so. And this tree over here is going to be kind of a taller tree shape. Like one of these, like a tall, skinny, some tall, skinny foliage. I don't think I gave myself enough paint there, but never mind. Just a tall, skinny foliage situation. I did random shapes to make this canvas. Now I'm doing random shapes to make some autumnal looking trees. Is it working? I don't know. But hopefully it will. I'm gonna attempt to make a pleasing shade of brown. No, that's green. That's incredibly green. Nope. Hold up. Can we brown that down a smidge? Can we just brown that down a little bit, please? Okay, that's still green. This green is very potent. That's something to always kind of be aware of and bear in mind, is if you have, you know, like the one pigment that just tends to override all of the others when you blend it together. I think I actually want this to be like a warmer brown, if I can. So more orange. Even warmer? Maybe even warmer. More orange. But not so much that it's just orange, you understand, because then what's the point? There we go. Okay, that's it. That's a reasonable leaf brown, I guess. I don't know. I think there's about 5 different colors in it. Anyways, once again, color theory. Hooray! Alright. What shape do I want this to be? Maybe kind of a... It kind of peaks a little bit on the top, and then it's kind of like roundish. Can I make it even bigger than that? Just an absolute big boy. I'm basically just covering up that hill at the back. That's not what I meant to do, but you know, sometimes the unintended consequences of one's actions are good, actually. So, like, hey, that's cool. I'm into it. Oh, well. So with it goeth. I'm gonna maybe just bring this out a little bit. Just bring that out a little bit. Cool. Cute. Delightful. Can I maybe just completely change the shape from my original intention? Because I had an absolute change of heart and now I want to do something different. Yes, I can do that. Can I actually just bring it actually down a little bit more at the bottom? What am I doing? Am I futzing too much? Yes, I super am futzing too much. I need to stop. Okay, that's it. That's enough for that shape. That shape is complete. The shape is done. The shape is fine. We're gonna add one more shade. And this shape is going to be a nice, deep Canadian red, I reckon. That'll be fun. Okay. Can my brush pick up a little bit more red? This is a tiny brush to be doing with it. I really should have used my, like, sort of medium small brush instead of the absolute smallest brush that I have for this, but never mind. Sometimes one starts a thing and one has to continue with said thing, even if one has determined that that thing was kind of a mistake. Gonna add a little orange to the red just to make it nice and like a nice warm red. And then this nice warm red is gonna, it's kind of hanging out in between / behind these trees here. So it's just kind of poking out from behind them. Thusly. Okay, we have a little row of trees. Or tree tops anyways, because I haven't drawn in the trunks yet, but I will. I think I will when we come back from break, because we are about to go on. I can't believe, I don't know if I'm going to get this done on this stream, which is stupid, considering how this was supposed to be a nice, brief, single stream exercise in doing some little watercolor sketches that don't matter. They still don't matter. If these turn out bad, we'll just never speak of them again. They were an exercise in, you know, just, like, flying by the seat of your pants, trusting the process, and not worrying too terribly much about making everything be all perfect all the time, and that's okay. Before we do that, I'm going to just add some additional areas of sort of color and texture on the ground, because why? I don't know. I just feel like the ground's a little bit too pale, especially sort of down in front here, so I wanted to make it be less so. And now it is less so. Does this look bad? Yes. Should I have used a larger brush? Yes. Shall I fix that now, like, super quickly because we're about to go to ads? Yes. Ah, shoot. Okay, it's still kind of meh, but ads are about to run. So I'll be right back, everybody. We'll fix it when we get back. It's all fine. You're not going to miss anything because we're about to go onto the BRB screen. Apologies for the ads if you see them, but I'll be back in a minute. BRB, everyone. Hello again. Hello. Welcome back. Thank you very much for sticking around through the ads and the break and all that stuff. And then coming back to this. Wow, something has given me a tummy ache. So I'm probably not going to go on for super long now. I do apologize for that. I'm not ending yet, but yeah, wow, tummy trouble. What's going on there? That's not cool. Was kind of hoping we'd finish this today, but then it turns out I had like an hour and a half's worth of rants to do that kind of precluded my ability to paint through them effectively. So, whoops. Never mind, it's fine. I might just finish this off stream for my own funsies and hope no one minds if I do that. Just because we're probably not going to come back for an art stream until next Monday, and then it's going to be October, and I've got lots of... oh, come on, light. The one thing about this new camera is that it does really like to just blow out the light quite a lot, and I don't love when it does that. I find it annoying, and it always does that when I'm not looking, so I don't know how long it's been like that, and it's very uncool of it. Like, don't know. No, it's doing it again. As soon as I looked away from the screen, it's just like, how about I just... It seems to do it towards the end of the stream as well. I don't know if there's a way I can adjust this in, like, the camera settings. Just stop. Stop doing it. Why? Why is the brightness so just completely blowing out all of the it's getting worse. And it seems to happen like towards the end of the stream. There we go. Okay. All right. We've clawed it back, but it took some work. Pretzels. Anyways, I was going to put some like little treely stumps and things into these trees. I'm gonna try and make them as minimalist as I can. Samantha, hello! Have I made it home before raids are happening? Just about, yeah. I want to finish some more tree stuff, but my camera has decided to just go slightly crazy. So I'm adjusting. I'm trying to adjust my overhead light, and it's still. Why is it just blowing everything out now? Like I said, it seems to do this towards the end of stream and not before then. Which I don't know is just my camera getting tired. But I also don't know how to fix it. Like, oh no, this is too much white. Now look at my painting and be normal. And it just fades back up to that. The sun has moved into Sammy's art studio. Apparently so, Tells. Apparently so. Should I go? Like, I'm just sitting here doing nothing and it's just actively getting worse. The light is not changing. I don't know why it's doing this. I think I'm just gonna have to... Will it work if I just manually shift the brightness down on it? I don't know. I feel like that's not really doing anything. Heck. Actually, no, it was. It was. Just not correctly. Sorry for all of, like, the weird flashes and stuff happening here. I genuinely don't know how to fix this. No! Alright, well... That's super stupid and annoying. Like, look. This is some bright white paper. Yuck. This is not that. Why is it doing this? Okay, I know not how to correct it. Maybe if I just hold the painting up at you to the extent that it's nice and out of focus. I'm gonna have a chat with my tech support, I think, after I'm done, and maybe we'll like look at it together and figure something out. I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. But anyways, let me just re-wet my brush a little bit, get some more paint on here, and then I'm just gonna, this one is a little bit closer to us, so just whoop. Thus. Perfect. Okay, wonderful. That's a nice little tree. I was gonna say tree spine. That's not exactly what I meant, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean when I say tree spine, right? It's a trunk. Anyways, is trunk. I'm very intelligent. My moderator / spouse has just come home, so I'm gonna quickly go say hello to him, and then I'll be back. Oh no, my camera's kicked the bucket again. Anyways, well, enjoy the technical difficulties screen for a minute while I go say hi to my moderator / spouse. Hi, babe. How are you doing? Every once in a while, it just seems to the USB port. But also, for some reason, just like towards the end of stream, it seems to have a real problem maintaining the correct level of brightness, and it blows out the whiteness of my artwork. I don't know how to fix that. Maybe it's designed to stop people letting me in. That was fine. Apart from that bit right at the very end, it was absolutely fine. How about you? How are you? Are you okay? Strawberries? Ooh, nice. They smell amazing. I love you. Okie dokie. Hi, everybody. Okay, I am attempting to sort the, there we go. Attempting to sort the camera, now that I have greeted, my moderator / host. Come on! Yay, it's back! Okay, we're back. Anyways, welcome home, Tals says, welcome home, thanks for the milk. Kissing time, says Joe. Hey, I mean, yes, it is true. We are married, and we are romantically... What? Seriously, why does the lighting keep doing this, like, right at the end of my stream? It just blows out. I don't get it. I've tried to look at, like, the brightness settings, and it didn't seem to make it any better. That makes it worse. That's way worse. I'm so sorry for the horrible, super bright lights, chat. I don't know how to fix it. My husband has suggested putting the lens cap on and taking it back off again. So... I'll do that. And nope, that's worse. Oh, yay! So I genuinely don't know what's up with that, because at least on my monitor, it's blowing everything right out, and does not look like that in real life. Ah! Okay, so I do apologize for that, but I'm just gonna carry on with these treats. No. Why?
Oh hell yeah, Mr. Tom just subscribed.
Thank you.
Oh hell yeah, a random team just subscribed.
Oh, goodness gracious. Thank you so much.
Oh hell yeah, Tiles_our just subscribed. Oh hell yeah, Belgarath101 just subscribed.
Nope, that wasn't the end. I was wondering if I could talk yet. No. Please.
Oh hell yeah, Bottle of Dave just subscribed.
Oh my
Oh hell yeah, Samian Art just subscribed.
Oh my goodness. Well, Samantha, thank you so much for gifting subs to Belgarath and Tals and a random Tim and Mr. Tom and Bottle of Dave and Valorant. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Sammy, and thank you both very much indeed for the gift subs. Everyone, enjoy your emotes and stuff, and thank you for kicking off a level 2 hype train. What are you doing? What are you doing? This is wild. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Samantha says, just quickly scan through the Silksong bots to check you've bet them before making this request. Thank you for honoring the spoiler doodads. Hornet giving the Bell Beast head pats because Team Cherry are too mean to me. That is so valid. That is so valid. Okay, so for anyone who is
Doma.
Tals, thank you very much for the Doma. Let me just give scratches to the dog defender with a sweet little doodad. Ooh, so precious. Where the heck is my canvas? There's my canvas. Okay, so for anyone who is unfamiliar, terrible drawing time is a phenomenon which happens on this stream for some reason, whereby for 5,000 channel points, I have 5 minutes or less to draw a character or concept of your choosing on the terrible drawing canvas, which looks like this at the moment. I make no guarantees as to the quality of the piece. It varies greatly, and I accept no responsibility for any psychic damage that may occur as a result of your terrible drawing. But realistically speaking, it is almost always me who experiences psychic damage. So, you know, like, don't worry. Like, y'all will be fine. Don't worry about it. Anywho. But yes. I know who the Bell Beast is in Silksong. I do. I definitely didn't have to think about it for a moment because I call them Bing Bong the Bell Buddy. But I absolutely call them Bing Bong the Bell Buddy. Because because that's their name to me. Anyways, I need to set an alarm for 5 minutes. So where is my clock? Timer. 5 minutes on the clock starting now, and now I just have to remember, will I be able to draw them sort of in proportion with each other? Probably not. Will I attempt to do so? Yeah, but again, probably not going to do great. Anyways, okay, let's put... I'm not putting anything near this one because it alarms me. So I'm just going to put them down in this corner over here, and I'm going to attempt to draw Bing Bong, the beautiful bell buddy, as best as I can. Okay. Oh no. Oh no, I'm nervous, y'all. I'm so nervous. Okay, so they have like a cute little head, and then they've got like a little, no, I don't like, hold up. I was gonna try and give them like a little open mouth. I think sometimes they do a little sort of like, just like give them a little smile. Like that. Okay, so spoilers for Hollow Knight Silksong. If you are at a fast travel station, thank you so much for the hype train, y'all. I'm gonna open this hype chest real quick. Oh, it's so cute. I got a very cool little kitty. That's absolutely adorable. I saw a cute gif of Hornet just head patting a bunch of little guys from the game. Says Tals. That's so stinking cute. I love it. Anyways, spoilers, I guess, for Silksong. If you haven't been to a fast travel station, be warned. I'm about to say a spoiler. But if you are at like a fast travel bell creature station, and you hit the bells, it the Bing Bong, the bell buddy, will like sing along, and it just makes sort of a little sound in response, and it's really cute. It's really cute. Okay, how do I draw your big bell creature body? What's happening? Sledge, my darling!
Oh hell yeah, Sledge Callie just
sunshine.
subscribed. I am 100% disappointed by the lack of Shaw. And get good in Silksong.
Not enough Shaw and get good. Is that your... I'm hoping that we'll reach sort of like a triumphant point in the game where she's doing like a super difficult boss fight and she'll be like, get good, and then kick its butt. I'm hoping that that's what will happen. I'm sure, in fact, I'm positive. I think it's got a little tail as well, which is definitely going. This is not a good drawing of the bell buddy, because I'm sure I'm misremembering. How many legs does it have? I don't know. It has this many now. You can't see the ones on the other side of its body because of the way that it's facing. Just trust me on this. But here's Hornet, who's got a head like a funky little bunny, and I really need to sharpen this pencil, because it is not doing it as a as like a sharp implement anymore. Oh no. There we go. She's giving little pat pats, and she's also got her nice sharp little needle, and being hopefully adorable. Did I set a time? Okay, I've got 48 seconds left. This is a terrible drawing of the bell beast. Oh no. Oh no. So I apologize about that, because if you've seen it, it is hecking adorbs, and I have not done it justice here because I couldn't remember what it looked like. I'm so sorry, but here she is giving them pats. Giving them little scritches. Apparently, if you do just like, if you just hit it with your nail, that counts as scritches, and it kind of gets all like, this tickles. Because I think it has such a like hard shell that it just tickles it. So cute and perfect, says Samantha. I think you're exaggerating, but I appreciate that. Alright, hold up. That's my alarm. So I've switched off my alarm, and we're gonna look up what it actually looks like so we can compare and contrast, and I can feel bad about the bad job that I did. This is the vibe I was attempting to go for, and I don't think I did. I don't think I quite got there, but oh, I love them so much. They're so stinking cute. Hold on. Bear with. Let me find a good picture. Okay, here's a pretty good picture. It's a nice big picture too, so I'll pull up this picture so you can see. So, first of all, here's my attempt at the Bell Beast. I can get it to come into focus, and then here's the actual Bell Beast. So, yeah. My moderator slash spouse just yelled at me. Is it working again? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it's Bing Bong the Bell, buddy. Anywho, such a good boy, says Tells. I know, they're so cute. I love them so much. Anyways, I tried my best. I will try and do a better, like, actual art of them at some point, where I, put effort and can look at references. But for now, that'll do, I guess. Anyways. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the sniz. Oh. You alright, babe? I was just changing to scene. Yeah, okay, cool. Anyways, thank you for the Gesundheit and the bless. I appreciate it. They're the same picture. .jpg says Samantha. Thank you. Very kind. Anywho. Good. Now, I want to finish these little tree trunkage. This little bit of tree trunkage. And I might call it there for today. We've only been going for like 2.5 hours, but I'm tired. And, I have, I think, okay, this is, no, it's all good. Okay. Anyways, sorry. A bit of weirdness on the back end, but it's all good. Okay, so there we go. Just added a couple little extras in that one, because why not? I think it wants to be a little bit thicker toward the bottom. And then this one, I think we're just going to keep it nice and simple. It's going to be a real tall boy, though. Just give it a tiny bit of additional width towards the bottom. Okay. We have, well, I was so worried about the sort of, like, bit of scenery behind this lump of mass, and then it turns out you can't see any of it behind this little row of trees anyways. I'm not sure I love how this row of trees turned out. I feel like I kind of want to put something kind of behind them in places, maybe, because it feels very kind of just, like, lined up and symmetrical. The lighting's doing that thing again. But I don't know what to do with it right now. So I think I'm going to call it there and go make some dinner. But in the meantime, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you for putting up with my ranting and having opinions about things and just generally kind of going off in various directions conversationally, as well as not knowing what to do artistically. But I'll probably finish the rest of this off stream because there's not a ton to do, and get started with something a little bit more October-y next Monday. I won't be streaming on Thursday because I'm getting something done to my teeth that's probably going to leave me out of commission for at least the rest of the day, but hopefully I'll be able to be back on Friday morning in some capacity playing Silksong, because if I don't get to play Silksong, I'll feel really sad because I'll miss it, and I'm so behind everyone else's playthroughs because I can only progress 3 hours a week. So I really want to do it. Also, I think we're at a very exciting moment in the game, and I'm looking forward to what's next. So, I'm gonna see who's online that we can do a little raid on, and yeah, thank you so much for hanging out today. Thank you for the hype train as well, and thank you to the lovely people who raided, to Sammy and to Feldy. Thank you both for entrusting me as a place to land for your lovely people. I do appreciate it. And we're gonna find someone to say hello to now. Let's see who's doing some art. Who's maybe someone we haven't raided in a while. Let's go. You know what? Let's go say hi to Casey. I bet Casey's doing something cool. Assuming that she's not just about to finish, which would be embarrassing and silly. But let's find out. If it will load. Please don't be about to finish. Please don't be about to finish. Ooh, doing some interesting stuff. Okay, yeah. Let's go. Say hi to Casey, see what Casey's up to today. And let us also pop a generic raid message in the chat. If I can spell correctly, that would be super rad. Just popping a raid message in the chat. I think what's an appropriate emote for today? I don't know. Probably just a little anana peeking in there. Anyways, if you have the emotes, feel free to grab the emotes. If you do not have the emotes, feel free to just say generic raid message and append any cool emotes that you do have. It's all good. If I can get the raid message to do hold up, bear with. Okay, you should be seeing the raid message now. Feel free to grab the emotes if you have the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message and or append any cool emotes that you do have. It's all good. I will be back doing something. Jake's Art Workshop, thank you so much for the follow. We are just about to finish, but thank you. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday. Hope you are well. But I will be back on Friday playing Silksong, hopefully. And doing, I don't know, some October-y art next week. But thank you for bearing with as I go through this, having to get my teeth, like, surgery on Thursday. So, yes. Hi and bye, says Jake. Indeed. Okay, we're going. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. Good night and good luck.